Welcome back, folks. Sheepdog Smokey here, and you can't make this stuff up. And honestly, this should scare the living crap out of everyone who's reading it. It seems that the latest push by Democrats to control every aspect of your life is to literally control your ability to reproduce. It seems right now that Rolanda Hollis, a state Democrat in Alabama, introduced a bill that would mandate every Alabama man to undergo a vasectomy within 1 month of his 50th birthday or the birth of his third biological child, whichever comes up first. Democrats in the Alabama legislature last year brought up the possibility of introducing such a bill during the abortion debate on 2019's House Bill 314, known as the Human Life Protection Act. Under existing law, there are no restrictions on the reproductive rights of men, states the introduction to Hollis' new bill, HB 238. The bill has been referred to the House Judiciary Committee. House Bill 238 specifically would mandate each vasectomy occur at the respective man's own expense. During the debate on the Human Life Protection Act in 2019, Hollis read from a poem, If My Vagina Was a Gun, comparing Second Amendment rights debate to the debate over a woman's right to abortion. You cannot make this up. Representative Hollis is quite literally saying, if you won't let me have full, unrestricted abortion, then you have to take it upon yourself to ensure no one gets pregnant. Now, the age-old argument, well, if it was rape, it should not be, you shouldn't punish the woman by making her carry the child. I don't know that there are 50-year-old men who are fathers out raping people. Okay? This does nothing to counteract that. This is also a complete and total reversal of the norm of my body, my choice. We hear that constantly from the Me Too and the Women's Lib and every other liberal movement out there, that it's the woman's body. You shouldn't make her choice. You shouldn't make her pay for an abortion. Yet, when it comes to men's bodies, they are going to be required by law to, at their own expense, remove their ability to procreate. Now, I will admit, at 42 years old, I don't know that I see myself ever marrying or having children at this point. I know that it has happened for many people. I know that a friend of mine from very early on in childhood, being raised by his grandparents, they specifically had a child so he would not grow up an only child. Literally, his aunt is younger than him. I don't know how old they were, but I do believe they were at least in their late 40s or 50s when this happened. But Representative Rolanda Hollis doesn't care that it's your body, it's her choice, and you're going to pay for it. This is eugenics at its base level. Who may reproduce? We will tell you. This is the first step. It will go further. We already have Democrats opposing a bill at the federal level that would mandate any child who is born during an abortion process or after be given health care. And when asked, why should one child in a hospital who was not attempted to be aborted receive care while another does not? And none of them said a word. So they've backtracked on that, and they're now saying, well, we'll just make it easy so that you can't have kids. And if you don't think that the liberal elite will be given waivers because, well, we didn't start our family early because we were too busy building our careers, and now we have time for a family. If you don't think Hollis will be able to get an exemption from this law for any man who pays her the right price or is married to or even dating one of her dear friends, then you're deluding yourself. This is quite literally the first step toward telling you who may and may not control their own bodies. And I say this should scare you, and it should. We have far too few people who have actually studied history to any level beyond high school, and that is a horrific thing. Because if those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And sadly, those of us who did learn history and have learned from it are doomed to repeat it because the unwashed masses have learned wrong because the people in power want to repeat it because they think they'll do it right. In the 1930s, when Adolf Hitler managed to seize power in Germany, it soon became apparent that he was dictating who had a right to life and who does not. Jews, gypsies, homosexuals, to name just 3 groups, were deemed impure by the brown-eyed, black-haired man who saw a vision of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aryan race. At the end of that war, 1939 to 1945, 6+ million people had been murdered in concentration camps, not all of them Jewish because of his anti-Semitism, but many gypsies and homosexuals and others as well. Adolf Hitler firmly believed that he should be the ultimate arbiter of who will be allowed to live and who will not. We see currently some countries mandating that you have your child tested for birth defects. And if they find one, autism, Down syndrome, MS, so on, the people are beginning to be pressured to abort the child because, well, they won't have any quality of life. We also have Mike Bloomberg on the record supporting the idea of denying health care to the elderly. Because after all, if there is no cure for cancer, why put someone through expensive treatment when they're just going to die in a couple of years anyway? This is terrifying because this is the ultimate control. If you want to be able to have children, if you want to be able to know that I'll receive health care if I am ill, if you want to be able to raise your children and not have them taken from you, you will support the candidate who is supporting policies like this so that you can be given an exemption from those policies. There's a line in the movie Starship Troopers where one of the young girls going through that basic training says she wants to have children, and then goes on, it's a lot easier to get a license if you've served. Point blank saying that the only people who may have children are those who have been approved to have children by the government. And this is, oddly, one government model that liberals seem to be pushing for anytime there's a conservative in office. They start harping on, show us your military records. You didn't serve, you're a draft dodger. Now, one, they ignore that Obama, Clinton, Sanders, so many others avoided military service as well. We have a photo going around of Pete Buttigieg in camouflage fatigues with no flag patch, no rank, no service patch, no name tag, nothing. Literally looks like a hunter who's just gone to the Army-Navy store to buy a bunch of fatigues. There are also rumors going around that he went in with special dispensation for no training, served a matter of weeks under a CIA-sponsored unit, and left. This right here is a Manchurian candidate level setup. Quite literally, put him in the military for just long enough so we can say he was there, and then we'll manufacture whatever we need to make him a war hero. It's about control. It's always been about control. It always will be about control. They control you through your taxes. Well, we need the money to pay for these programs, but you'll be getting all these benefits, and then you get what they allow you to have. Well, the planet is dying. We don't need more children, so we need to make sure you can't have them, because then we just have to abort them anyway. Oh, you managed to have a fourth child. Well, that's not allowed. Look at China with their restriction on family size and how many young girls are aborted every year or left to die after they deliver somewhere other than a hospital, so the government doesn't know they've had a child because they want a boy to carry on the family name. You look at every program being touted by liberals, and it is just another method of control. It will always be about control. It will never be about anything else. They care nothing for the unwashed masses of peasants that they will rule over. They care only for belief in their lies and getting you to vote for them. Now, thankfully, I believe Hollis's bill is doomed to failure. And ultimately, I hope those in her district vote her out of office, because she's quite literally saying, I will run your life, every aspect of it. And if you dare oppose her, you're a racist bigot or a sexist or whatever else that she wants to call you in the ist game. And it should scare the living daylights out of you. But I've talked long enough. Let me know what you think. Remember to keep it civil. We're having a conversation. We're not screaming and arguing like children. Also, please remember to subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications so that you can be the first to know of any new content as it is posted. Until next time, have a wonderful day.